Hello there. Got another pretty classic and widely used pedal up on the block today. A Boss RV-5 digital reverb, mono or stereo. That's one of the reasons why it's often used, and it's got a great price point and it's got great sounds. So that's probably a pretty good explanation of why you see it a lot on a lot of people's boards, even high-end boards. Like, a lot of people just can't get rid of it for one reason or another. So it's got 6 different modes of reverb there are. Starting from the top, you have spring, plate, hall, room, gate, and modulate, respectively. And then pretty basic controls here. E level is the mix of how much reverb is there. Tone is kind of, it's more or less like a brightness kind of control. It like controls kind of how dark or bright that the actual reverb sounds that trail off are. And then time, just kind of how long it'll linger around for. So playing the usual Nash T-57 into a Morgan RCA35. Clean, sounds like this. We're on hall right now at noon. Sounds like this. We use that as our guinea pig kind of to show you the range of these. So if you wanted a more... That's actually off. So if you wanted a more modest setting on your kind of sitting back in the mix a little further. And then if you wanted to crank it and get super wet. It's pretty wet. We'll leave that up here pretty far to show you tone, where kind of like a darker, more muted repeats versus coming all the way up here to very bright and lively and metallic kind of sounding repeats. And those change a little bit based on the mode you're in, but for the most part it's just bright or dark there on the tone. And then time all the way down at the bottom, get kind of like a bathroom kind of thing going on back here to the middle. Pretty big sized hall, and then maxed out. So let's give max settings, and we'll go through each one here just to kind of, well, we'll come a little off of max. We'll see what they all sound like. So starting at the top with spring. Based on reverbs that actually used springs. Plate. A lot more flat, kind of shimmery sounding deal. Back to hall one more time. This has one of the longer tails in terms of how long it'll last and hang out for. Room, which is just kind of a smaller version of hall. Very similar sound, but a smaller space. Gate is a really weird effect. You could almost call it like a reverse reverb. It's like it starts reverbed and then hones back in and dies back at your original signal. It's weird. It's a cool effect, though. And then modulate. So it kind of warbles around as it fades off. That's got a pretty long tail on it too. And for whatever reason, a lot of people just really like the mod setting. It's not just limited to ambient music, but it's used a lot in that because it sounds pretty cool, swirling around back there behind whatever you're doing, if you're doing swells or something. But it has a cool character to it, and it's pretty unique, and that I think is, I would guess, the main reason you see this on so many boards, even higher end ones. Like we were saying, people just can't get rid of it because they love them some mod. So that's a pretty good idea of what all of these do. Maybe we can change things a little bit. Maybe bring this down, make it a little darker, keep it real big. I can fake a volume swell here with the volume knob. Should probably be better if the effect were up higher. So that's pretty cool for that. Or just coming back to maybe a little more note-based kind of stuff. Jump over to Hall. Well, let's do plate. Just hear the same kind of thing. Jump to Hall. So lots of character, and then like we said, it can be run stereo into 2 different amps, which is something that we'll talk about in another video pretty soon. But it might be the single cheapest pedal that does that. I could be wrong about that. Could be very wrong about that. But in any case, you can check out Boss's website, which will be below the video. You can subscribe to my channel if you would like to spend 5 minutes with some more gear and see some other random stuff too. And that's all I got. So, bye-bye.